TessyTales script, Lithokolosi, the Cannibal Ogres of the Basotho. Welcome back to TessyTales, timeless stories told your way. Tonight, we descend into the mountains of Lesotho, where stone and shadow cradle whispers older than memory, in the caves where the wind moans like a grieving spirit, in the ravines where sunlight rarely touches, something stirs. The Basotho people know them by a name spoken carefully, for to say it too often risks drawing their gaze. They are the Lithokolosi, cannibal ogres, child snatchers, dwellers in the dark. To meet them is to taste fear, to feel hunger's breath against your neck, to sense the boundary between man and monster crumble away. The land of Lesotho is a land of stone. The Maloti Mountains rise like teeth, jagged and ancient, their ridges scarred by storms and time. Snow falls here in winter, and rivers cut deep veins into the valleys. To live here is to live close to the earth, close to the silence of stone, close to the sky. It is in this landscape that the Lithokolosi dwell. They are said to haunt caves, gullies, and abandoned homesteads. When the night grows heavy and the wind drags its claws along the mountainside, Basotho elders whisper of them, cannibals, ogres, beings who hunger not only for flesh, but for the life force itself. To outsiders, the Lithokolosi may sound like ogres from fairy tales, but to the Basotho, they are far more than fiction. They are memory wrapped in myth, born of famine and fear, of wars that stripped villages bare and left shadows behind. They are caution and nightmare bound together. The Lithokolosi are said to look almost human, but not quite. Too tall, too gaunt, their eyes gleaming like coals in the dark. Some tales say they can shrink themselves, becoming no larger than a child, only to grow again when hunger strikes. Others say they walk unseen, cloaked by charms, their footsteps muffled, their shadows hidden. But always, their hunger betrays them. It is said that the Lithokolosi carry the smell of raw blood, that their breath is hot and foul, that animals grow restless when they draw near. They snatch children from doorways, lure travelers off the road, creep into kraals under the moon. In whispers, people say the Lithokolosi do not merely eat flesh. They devour the sariti, the spirit, the life force, leaving behind husks that seem empty, drained of more than blood. And in this, they are not just beasts. They are shadows of humanity twisted by hunger. Listen now as the elders tell it. Once in a village high in the Maloti, a widow lived with her 3 children. Their hut stood near the edge of a forested slope where the trees grew thick and the paths were narrow. She was poor, but her children kept her heart warm. Each evening, she would light a small fire, and they would sit together, eating porridge and singing low songs. But one winter, the rains failed. The fields grew thin and the rivers shrank. Hunger crept into every hut. It was then, they say, that the Lithokolosi came. At first, it was only a shadow glimpsed at the tree line, a figure too tall, standing too still. The widow thought it was her eyes playing tricks, but then, one night, her youngest child vanished. No scream, no cry, only the door curtain stirring in the wind. The villagers searched. They found nothing but a faint trail of ash leading into the forest. The widow wept, and the next night, as the fire burned low, she saw them. Tall, gaunt, with eyes like burning coals. A group of Lithokolosi circled the hut, silent except for their breathing. The air grew hot, and the fire flickered as if afraid. The widow clutched her children, whispering prayers. But the Lithokolosi only watched, their mouths curved into grotesque smiles. Then, as suddenly as they came, they melted into the trees, leaving only the stench of blood behind. The widow and her children fled the next morning, abandoning the hut to the mountains. And to this day, travelers say the place is cursed. Some claim to hear children's cries in the wind. Others swear they see tall figures at dusk, waiting at the edge of the trees. What are the Lithokolosi? Are they monsters of the night or echoes of something deeper? To the Basotho, they symbolize hunger that devours more than the body. In times of famine, neighbors watched neighbors closely, for desperate acts were not unknown. The Lithokolosi became the embodiment of that fear. that in the grip of hunger, even humanity could be consumed. They are also warnings. They remind children not to wander far, not to stray into caves or forests, not to ignore the wisdom of elders. The Lithokolosi are guardians of boundaries, their horror teaching lessons through fear. And yet, there is mystery. Some say the Lithokolosi are not entirely separate from humans, that witches can summon them, that they may even be humans transformed by dark rituals. In this, they become symbols of greed, people so consumed by selfish hunger that they cross into monstrosity. To understand the Lithokolosi, one must also remember history. In the early 19th century, southern Africa was racked by chaos. The Memphakane, the crushing, sent armies sweeping across the land. Villages were destroyed, crops burned, people scattered. In Lesotho, famine took hold. Historical accounts speak of cannibalism during these years of terror, families starving in caves driven to the unthinkable. Out of this darkness, memory shaped monsters. Cannibals became ogres. The Lithokolosi were born, not just as stories to frighten children, but as ways to explain the horror people had witnessed. They are history turned into myth, the shame of famine, the scars of hunger, given form in the gaunt figures who stalked villages in story. Even today, the Lithokolosi have not vanished. In villages, some still speak of them. Hunters say they feel watched in certain valleys. Children are told not to wander alone, lest the Lithokolosi take them. In modern Lesotho, where city lights glow and radios hum, it may be easy to dismiss such tales. But in the mountains, where the night is deep and the wind howls, the fear lingers. For myths never truly die. They sleep, waiting for the dark. The Lithokolosi are more than cannibal ogres. They are the shadows of hunger and history. They are the fear that desperation may strip away our humanity. They are the mystery of the wilderness, where eyes gleam in the night and footsteps echo in caves. To speak of them is to acknowledge that within every culture, monsters walk alongside memory. And sometimes, the line between the two is thin. So if you find yourself in the mountains of Lesotho, and the wind carries a smell of ash and blood, and the shadows seem too tall to be trees, tread carefully. For the Lithokolosi may still walk there, watching, waiting, hungering. This has been TessyTales, timeless stories told your way. If this journey into the dark world of the Lithokolosi stirred your imagination, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more timeless myths and mysteries. Until next time, beware the shadows, for not all of them are empty.